Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to go into my inventory and grab my next project, a two-tiered Edwardian palette table. I have an amazing idea to turn this table from bland to beautiful and give it some personality and character, all on a budget. So if that sounds like something you want to watch, meet me over in my studio and we'll get this project started.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane.
This antique Edwardian style mahogany palette table has a beautiful top with molded edges, and it stands on these gorgeous shaped cabriole legs, all tied in together by a shaped undertaker's shelf. The design period is 1890 to 1919 roughly, and this table would have been in front of a window with a lamp and probably a plant or two on it. I still see it in that capacity today, but it needs new life. This table came out of my friend's parents' estate home, and there's nothing special about its aged and neglected finish. It's a bit rickety at the joints and seams, so the first thing that I'm going to do is get some good wood glue out and glue it up where it needs it, clamp this little lady down until she is nice and tight. Everything's glued, everything's clamped, and I even filled in a couple nail holes where I pulled out some nails from previous repairs. I'm going to let it all sit for the night and I'll be back at it tomorrow. I let the glue set up overnight and now I'm going to actually sand the table. I'm not trying to remove the finish, I just want to smooth it out a bit. Also, because of the color of the stain and tannins, I'm going to be sealing this old finish before I paint it. For my new vision for this piece, I see it as a piece of art. There isn't a whole lot to it. It does have gorgeous curves all over it, but it's a pretty simple table overall. So I want to take it to the next level by making the top look like an actual piece of art. I kind of want it to look like an oil painting on the top, if you will, and I know exactly how to do it. I'm going to start by putting 2 coats of a stain blocking primer down, and I'm actually going to use a small roller to do that. This step is going to ensure that those tannins don't seep up through the wood and into my final product, ruining it and my mood. I noticed I had a very tiny amount of white spray paint left in this particular can, so I decided to give the top a few sweeps with it, using up that little bit. It's not enough for any type of a project, but it's just enough to give this top a great coating. Now, because I want to give this the look of art, I'm going to be using a decoupage, and when you're using a decoupage, it's always best to have light colors underneath it. That's going to allow those colors in the picture and everything to show up through and vibrant. It's not going to hide anything. All the details will be seen, but you need to start with a light base such as this white. Next, most decoupages have a seam in them, and by using a steamer, I am going to remove that seam. It's always best to do this step as well. If you don't and you go to apply this onto your piece, you are going to see that seam. It's going to be a very straight line, and it is going to be there. So using a steamer, you can easily get that out. You don't need a big old fancy steamer like my garment steamer. They have very small, affordable steamers on Amazon, and you can even use an iron to do it with a cotton cloth in between. But as you can see, it just totally takes that crease right out of there, making sure that when I put this on, it's going to be absolutely beautiful and completely flat. And that's going to lend to the illusion I'm creating with this piece. I've done this on rice paper, I've done this on fibrous paper, and I've also done this on plain old napkins. This piece does not completely fit on the entire top, but that is not problem. I'm going to actually give the illusion when I'm done that it actually is one entire piece, and you'll never know where this decoupage actually ends. I just need to decide, do I want to do it straight? Do I want to do it on an angle? Once I get its placement, I'm actually going to use a paintbrush with water, and I do apologize. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. Basically, you just dip the paintbrush in the water and you trace around the decoupage to where you want to rip it off. You never want to have a straight seam when you're doing decoupage. You always want a feathered edge, and you never want to rip it up. You want to rip it in the downward motion. If you rip it upward, you're going to remove the color from the decoupage, exposing the white of the paper. Whereas if you actually remove it by pulling downward, you are leaving the picture and the colors intact, giving you that great feathered look all the way to the edge. I'm going to do this around the whole piece, removing all of the edges that are there. Look at that beautiful feathered edge. This is exactly how you want your decoupage to look before you put it on. And this only applies if you're going to see the edges of it. If you're going to cut it away or something, you don't have to worry about it. But for a piece like this where it doesn't completely fit, I need that feather all the way around so I can seamlessly blend in and out of it. Using my decoupage medium and a brush, I am going to apply it on this table and get this attached. You don't want to use too much underneath, but you want to use enough to hold it down. I'm also going to be using a piece of cellophane to smooth out all of my wrinkles on top. Don't try to do this with your hand. Don't try to do it with anything else. You're going to get glue everywhere. You could actually pull the color off the transfer and you could just totally overall ruin it. You need to have a piece of cellophane to be able to smooth that out, glides over the paper, removing all the wrinkles without tearing, and just gives a beautiful professional end result. I let it sit for about 45 minutes and dry, and then once it's all set up, I'm gonna go back over that with a sealing decoupage medium. This is not my final top coat by any means, but this is a necessary step in the decoupage process. So you wanna make sure you get a good even coating all over that, all over your piece. This is definitely going to help seal that down. For the base, I want to actually do an experiment. I am not sure if it's the look that I actually want, but I'm going to try it. I want to get a chippy layered paint look by using a candle and scraping it on there. That gives the absolute most scrumptious, distressed look ever, and I can expose the same colors that are in the top. So I'm just going to kind of apply it here and there over the white. Then I'll rub it with that candle. The reasoning behind doing this method is that when I go over all of these waxed areas with the paint and I want to peel it back by distressing it and I want to lightly sand it off, exposing those colors, it is going to come off so easy every place where that wax is. It's effortless and it gives an amazing end result. I mixed up a couple different shades of Dixie Belle to create my own kind of custom gray color. Once I have it to the tone where I think I want it, I'm going to add my Fresco by Fusion texturizing agent to this. That's what's going to give this paint dimension when I put it on the piece. Again, I am not even sure if this is how I want the bottom to look, but I'll never know if I didn't try. So I'm going to try this step first, even though I know I may be redoing it completely in the end. That's how I roll, and we all know it. So, c'est la vie. Using a chip brush, I am going to stipple this on there. You never want to use any of your good brushes when you're doing a stippling motion such as this because the pouncing movement can really ruin your brushes. So I always like to use a chip brush, and I'm only going to be putting one coat of this on, so I'm going to tap it on pretty thick in some places. Remember, this is a texturizing paint, so it's not going to be smooth. It's going to be a little bit lumpy and a little bit bumpy and uneven, and that is all part of the character and charm I am trying to create. At least I think I am, because I still don't know if this is what I want. But it's a great way to show you this incredible candle distressing technique. If you're a beginner and nervous about distressing your freshly painted piece, then this is the technique for you. Now, using an already used 120 grit sanding paper on a sanding block, I am going to go over this whole piece. I am using minimal effort. I am not pushing hard at all. The block is basically doing all the work for me. And every place that that candle wax was put, the paint is going to come off so easy, exposing this gorgeous chippy look. I love chippy furniture. I love the look of this one. I love the end result that this distressing technique gives. But I am not thinking that this is right for the piece. I know how the top is going to look, and I just don't feel like the bottom is right. So I am going to readjust the plan. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'll share that with you guys in a minute. I am going to add some character to this bottom shelf using my amazing casting resin and a mold. I love the character this beaded trim adds to the piece, and it's just something so simple, but the impact that it leaves behind is major, and it's just what this little shelf needs on the bottom. I'm going to use all these colors. They're all by Dixie Belle. We have Hurricane Gray, Palmetto, Spanish Moss, Yankee Blue, Rusty Nail, Sandbar, Gravel Road, and Buttercream. All of those can be found in this print, and I am going to use those to blend out the top. But first, I have to cover up this white with the appropriate colors. So using those, I'm going to go around this whole piece and establish my base that I can build on. From there, I'm going to use all of these shades again, and I'm going to blend into and out of this decoupage. And it's going to look like the entire top is the decoupage when I'm done. Now I'm going to establish the base colors around the decoupage. You can't start with the white and then just start building the blend off of that. You actually need to have the illusion already kind of there, but you're not going for perfection. And in fact, it probably won't look very good. It definitely will not be completely accurate, and all of that is fine. This is just the base coat. Once this coat dries, I'm going to go over that with a whole lot more thought and precision to the colors and the placements, and I'm going to really make the illusion of this entire top being part of that decoupage using all of these colors. It does take time and patience. This is no different than blending. You need to step back and look at it. How is it looking? Are the colors matching to the decoupage? Is it lending to the illusion? Do I need to add more brown, maybe a little bit lighter? What color do I need to put in this spot to make it all look like one? The goal is to not be able to tell where the decoupage starts or stops, but rather have the entire thing look like a giant piece of art.
I bet you think that I should calm down, and that I'm overthinking everything about you, and that we're good the way we are. But I don't know that much about you, what things you like and what you don't. It's not that long since I met you for the first time. You know we should work it out. You know we should work it out. Before I'm too invested, I should probably ask you all my questions, get to know you better. Like, can you be trusted? Will you take me for granted? And will you let me down? I know I'm feeling something for you, the way you look, the way you laugh, and how you move. It kinda makes me go crazy. But we should take it slow, work things out so you don't let me go. When I come real close, I don't wanna get hurt, 'cause I'm not ready to give you my heart yet. Before I'm too invested, I should probably ask you all my questions, get to know you better. Like, can you be trusted? Will you take me for granted? And will you let me down? Before I'm too invested, you should take it easy. Maybe we could test this and work out our feelings. Baby, will I love you? Tell me, do you want me? And will you let me down? Yeah. I'm too invested, I should probably ask you all my questions, get to know you better. Like, can you be trusted? Will you take me for granted? Will you let me down before I'm too invested? You should take it easy. Maybe we could test this and work out our feelings. Baby, when I love you, tell me, do you want me? And will you let me down?
Before we look at the reveal, let's remember how this little lady started. There was nothing wrong with her. She had a beautiful shape. She had lovely curves. I loved the legs. I loved the top, but it was just completely lost behind that really old, really dingy finish it had on there. I didn't want to add a whole lot to it because the simplicity of this table is the beauty of it, but I wanted to really give it a wow factor while completely keeping the integrity of the original piece intact. And I feel pretty confident that I reached that goal. In fact, I believe I exceeded it, and this table came out way beyond anything I ever imagined. And in all honesty, it's better than it was the first day it was built. Are you ready? Here we go. The new color on the base is a nice deep gray that has been antiqued and aged with a glaze. I also did the same marbling effect on the bottom shelf, and I love the way it came out. Just look at that beadwork with that gorgeous gold gilding wax and the top. Can we talk about this top? This is amazing. This top came out gorgeous. It 1000% looks like the whole thing was painted. You can't tell where the decoupage stops and starts, where my paint picks up. Everything is seamless and smooth, and it is beautiful. I really love the look table. It's not even furniture anymore. This is beyond the stage of upcycling. This is beyond the stage of calling it furniture. This table is a work of art. Everything about it is a work of art. And the best part is the price. I didn't pay anything for the table. I had all of the paint. And that Dixie Belle decoupage I put on the top, I actually got from a local shop 75% off. So all in all, I really think I'm into this table for like maybe 20 bucks, and that's being quite generous. What do you guys think of the end result? Did I nail it or what? I hope you enjoyed watching this beautiful transformation unfold, and I also hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. As always, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me, and I will see you all next time on the flip side. Bye, guys.